Hey guys, how you going? Okay guys, before we start, I just want to let you know something that I've just discovered. If you want to contribute to the channel, it looks like PayPal is the best way to go at the moment. And I apologise for that. It looks like the super chat doesn't give you very much out of the money that is donated there. So that is during the live feeds. But I'll leave it up to you guys if you want to donate at all or whatever you want to do, or if you want to keep going through the super chats, that's fine. I just wanted to let you know, I'm going to let you know if they take a lot out, and YouTube does by the look of it. I'd say around 30%, if not a little bit more, maybe 33%, I'm not sure. Anyway, okay, let's get on with this. Also, I want to thank you all for being here and joining me. I did mean to go live this morning, but I woke up with a pretty bad headache, so I've still got a little bit now. I've been getting a lot since I did fall over and bump my head. It just added to all the previous injuries, so I won't spend time on that. Something popped up on my recommended on YouTube, and I thought I'd give it a look, and it only went for nearly 3 minutes, and it was from 10 years earlier, and I thought, oh, what's this? But I think there's a message in here. It might just be me reading into things too much, but let me know what you think. I'll play it now. did you think of that? I want to know what you thought. Just something interesting that I came across. Did you see the guy who came from nowhere? It kind of reminds me of pace yourself, and then take off. And to be your own hero. Anyway, I'll include that link down below. And let me know what you thought of that. I was amazed when I watched it. Oh my goodness. Okay, and then that's that. Okay, I wanted to go over a few things here. Oh, check this out. The snake's got a deer, and a guy comes along and starts to whack the snake with a branch, trying to get the deer free. Look, look, look. It actually got away. Oh my goodness. Okay, now I've bookmarked a few things here for us. And I will start with Australia. Gladys Berejiklian, sorry, I used to call her another name because I couldn't pronounce it, has spoken out about how she regrets her secret relationship with disgraced MP Daryl Maguire, as she promised to continue serving as Prime Minister of Premier of New South Wales. Now, I don't want to go in too much into the story. Apparently, she stuffed up. And then a few people are behind her saying, like Catherine, well, Gladys isn't going to resign. I do think she's a woman of integrity, and I believe her. I did think she'd resign, but I'm glad she's not. It's good news for New South Wales. Laura Jays says, I stuffed up at Gladys B. When was the last time you heard a politician say that? And Prue McSween says, I'm so glad that Gladys has refused to resign. I believe she has always put the interests of this state first and is a leader of utmost integrity. Stare them down, Gladys. Now, I don't know, because I don't know which side, honestly, that anyone's on at the moment. But New South Wales did not go into a lockdown like Victoria or Queensland did. And she's Liberal, and I believe that the Liberals are at least working with the President. Okay. This from Real Bruce Alrighty. Good name. Biden considering New York Governor Cuomo as Attorney General, Hillary Clinton as Secretary of Defense, when she didn't know that the C stood for classified. That would be great. Elizabeth Warren, Secretary of Treasury. Oh dear. AOC, head of the Environmental Protection Agency. Oh my goodness, the Green New Deal. Bernie Sanders, head of healthcare. Beto in charge of gun confiscation. So you know what he's planning to do. If that doesn't scare you into voting Trump, I don't know what would. And then this from Praying Medic, Hillary Clinton makes her case to be the next Secretary of Defense. Dear God. Not after Benghazi, she couldn't, please, no. Are you serious? In a year marked by plague and protest, Americans are reckoning with long overdue questions about racial justice, economic inequality, and disparities in healthcare. The current crisis should also prompt a reckoning about the United States' national security priorities. The country is dangerously unprepared for a range of threats, not just future pandemics, but also an escalating climate. Oh, I can't read this. Oh my goodness. Oh, hang on a sec. Just let me see. Let's see if we can pull this thing apart. They're already leaning to the left with the climate crisis and multidimensional changes from China and Russia. Industrial and technological strength has atrophied. Its alliance is afraid and its government is hollowed out. Yeah, well, I can see where these people are coming from. way over there in the left. In the past, it sometimes has taken a dramatic shock. Pearl Harbor, Sputnik, 9/11 to wake up the United States to a new threat and prompt a major pivot. Yeah, well, okay, let me rephrase this. To wake the United States up to a FF threat and prompt a major pivot, whichever way they want you to go. Like the war on terror. The COVID-19 crisis should be a big enough jolt to rouse this country from its sleep, hopefully the opposite way than this article seems to be going, so that it can summon its strength and meet the challenges ahead. And it's letting me down. Among the highest priorities must be to modernise the United States defence capabilities, in other words, lobotomise it. I'm sure that's what they want to do, in particular moving away from costly legacy weapons systems built for a world that no longer exists. You can say that again. It's not going to exist the same way ever again. It is going to be better as long as Trump gets in. And I believe he will. So they reckon modernising the military, are they going to defund it like they did the police, would free up billions of dollars that could be invested at home in manufacturing and advanced manufacturing? I don't know. Short-sighted. For decades, policymakers have thought too narrowly about national security and failed to internalise or fund a broader approach that encompasses threats, not just from intercontinental ballistic missiles and insurgencies, but also from cyber attack, viruses, carbon emissions, online propaganda, which this article is doing in a big way, and shifting supply chains. There is no more poignant example than this article. Forget the current administration's failure to grasp, and bull. Okay, this is ridiculous. Oh, look at this. President Barack, they're calling him president still. Ex-President Barack Obama's national security staff left a 69-page playbook for responding to pandemics, but President Donald Trump's team ignored it, focusing instead on the threat of bioterrorism. Okay, I'm not even going to bother reading anymore. This is just, what a load of rubbish. And this from N1 Nasty One. Why is there a huge pentagram on top of Eagle Mountain, California, and a massive solar power unit set up near Eagle Mountain, California? Is there something going on underneath they need power for? Oh. Who drew the big pentagram? That's solar. Interesting. Is there any more on this? No. Sanaprop 6% says, well, my first thought it was, well, it's California, of course. Sorry to be snide. That is a very interesting observation. No clue. We'll follow your post to see if anyone has any more info. And then N1 Nasty One says, the mine is shut down, but I believe that it is now a DUMB. You know what I'm talking about. I'm still not sure, no confirmation yet. I need a team of people to come with me while I somehow get a hold of a burner phone, download this Randonautica app and see if I can find a tunnel. But I have a feeling I'll get myself in trouble. Probably at the wrong time. I'll go there at the wrong time and get in the way. N1 Nasty One, research Felicity, California. Tell me what you see. This was interesting too. And I'm reading the answers because the answers were interesting. Okay, so Dr. Raquel Skidmore, I think that's how you say it, Raquel. A church on a man-made hill just like Epstein Island, and it's located on the border with Mexico. The centre of the world? Sounds to me like the centre of the trafficking route of the world. And N1 Nasty One replied to that, I was researching on possible tunnels from Mexico to Cali, and that's how I stumbled across this place. During World War II, from Nancy Drew, during World War II it was Camp Pilot Knob, the US Army's training centre. And N1 Nasty One replied, Patton trained the World War II USA paratroopers there too. Nancy Drew says, interesting. Nicholas, the pyramid should have water under it for it to work. Evil churches are connected to underground tunnel systems. That raising stair looks like a serpent but without a head, but I might be reading too much into it. Could be just a stair. Is it a stairway to heaven or hell? And One Nasty One says there's an aquifer underneath it. Deplorable Deb says centre of the world. And One Nasty One says, yep, I found that odd too. Now look at these. It sure has some weird stuff for two people. What's this hand out of a rock? Pointing at the pyramid, at the top of it. There's a museum shop and a museum. And Klarname Claus says, the Felicity Monument has a wheel in the middle. From the centre of that wheel, it has some very interesting distances to other landmarks. 2,444 miles to Harp, 1,100 miles to the Space Needle, 558 miles to the Golden Gate Bridge, and 7,575 miles to the Great Giza Pyramid. 2,666 miles to Kilauea Volcano, Hawaii. What are the odds? And it's very odd, good find, interesting. The temple is white with blue doors and the town is run by a Democrat. Imagine that. Centre of the world with a pyramid and hand of God clock. And there's more. I'll put these links down below. You can go and have a look for yourself. Centre of the earth, a lot of people are saying. The Pays-Sous, French nobility bloodline, is at the very top of the cabal, the highest of the order running the world, aka centre of the world. Is it a coincidence that a French-American founded a city which claims to be centre of the world? And that is from The Truth Will Do. Trademark, United States Press. So this is looking very interesting. I wonder if there's any more. Just type in Felicity, California and tell me what you see. And then people had, oh, okay. Is that the clock they're talking about? Oh, look at it. Wow. Oh, my cat just stepped on the keyboard. Hang on, I've got to get back to that. Got to find it now. Okay, so that's what a cat can do. They just change everything around on you. I'm thinking this is from Southern Belle Patriot 84. I'm thinking the church's steeple could be used for telling time. And then Kiwi Quaker. Centre of the world in Felicity, Granite Museum, Paris Stairs, and a church on the hill. There it is. Oh. A staircase to nowhere. Now the hand doesn't look like it's pointing at the pyramid, it looks like it's pointing. What is this place? Other than centre of the world. Okay. Official centre of the world. Oh my goodness. History of Arizona and California. The Great Age of Pyramids and Temples in Egypt. Even that. Oh. Well, it doesn't have the stripes, but still. Desert bowling. Wow. That's pretty interesting. Entrance to some kind of cave, maybe, with an arm pointing the way, which looks like it's crawling out of the ground. A pyramid, a huge arrow, which looks like a compass north, and a lot of weird crap, demonic to say the least. And that was from, Dean Alan Erickson. And then from Text Q Vibes, just a guess, but someone with a rather large sum of money knew about the pole flip, and perhaps the crust will go for a ride. Maybe they want to give a jump start to the survivors. Kelly wouldn't have been my pick, but I also didn't carve my family history in polished granite. So there you go. There's probably some really interesting... Oh, hang on. Oh, wow. See how they do this lens thing with all cameras now? Why do they need a labyrinth? Yep, it's the same place. There's the two little houses. The church should be up here on top of the hill. Okay, this one would probably be interesting to research into. Okay. And let's go back to Australia again. I have a feeling that Dan will be ousted any day now, followed closely by Gladys, and the trifecta will be Anastasia losing the Queensland election. The Aussie swamp is being drained. Well, no, I think Gladys is going to be there. From Dark Fox PhD, why are lockdowns in a number of countries and likely Melbourne all getting extended to periods that will end just after November the 3rd? Could it be any less obvious as to what's going on and who is calling the shots? Interesting. And this one from Alice, and I agree with this. Australians shocked to find they have no right to free speech after giving up their guns. I'm sorry, Australia, but you kind of need them. Let's have a look at what's Genesis Times. Melbourne, Australians have been shocked to find they have no right to free speech shortly after giving up their guns. On the 16th of June 2017, the Minister for Justice, Michael Keenan, announced that a national firearms amnesty would commence on the 1st of July 2017 for 3 months until the 30th of September to hand in unregistered or unwanted firearms. That happened back in 1996. Australians complied and handed over hundreds of thousands of firearms to the government. Okay, well, straight away they got it wrong. They said in 2017. No, that was back in 1996 or so, around that time. Now Australians, especially in the province of Victoria, are shocked to find that they are being arrested for Facebook posts. And that was a previous... And the pregnant lady... elderly couple. Oh no, it was an old lady. They arrested an old lady for sitting on the park bench. Probably having a rest on her way home from shopping. Looks like she's got some bags there. I was just riding my kangaroo to work, see, and I posted something about being generally healthy was probably good for you, and within minutes the Victoria Police were hauling me away to prison. It's insane, Mick Dundee of Melbourne said. Okay, this is a bit of a satire site, is it? I always thought we had a right to free speech because we're Western democracy and all that. I guess the government was just afraid of our guns before. Now they're not, evidently. That didn't really make much sense to me. I apologise, but it does not make that much sense. But it does look like it's sort of a satire website, looking at it. Okay. From Come B, whoa. Isn't it odd that on every mainstream media outlet there was propaganda on the Nobel Peace Prize being awarded to the United Nations World Food Programme, WFP? Are you seeing the CEO of Global Food Distribution Company arrested for child sex trafficking? So they got the Nobel Peace Prize. It was awarded to the United Nations World Food Programme, and this pedophile runs it. Well, did run it. Let's have a look from the Free Thought Project. Okay. How do I close? Oh, there. Newport Beach, California. Ian's Charles Schnecknell, 59, is the CEO of Halliburton International Foods, a global food distribution company worth billions. This week, Schenkel was arrested on accusations that he engaged in child prostitution and human trafficking. Okay, replace the word prostitution with another word and you'll be right. A 26-year-old woman is also accused of aiding Schenkel in child trafficking. According to Newport Beach prosecutors, Schenkel was arrested and faces 7 felony and 2 misdemeanor allegations involving intercourse and lewd acts with 2 underage victims, according to a criminal complaint filed Tuesday, September the 29th. He is suspected of abusing his victims at least 7 times between January the 27th, 2019 and October the 8th, 2019. Prosecutors also alleged that Amelia Perez, 22, helped set up meetings between the millionaire CEO and his victims. Perez now faces 6 felony charges for trafficking the underage girls. According to the OC Register, Newport Beach Police began investigating after a man reported in October 2019 that his daughter had sexual contact with Schenkel. Orange County District Attorney officials said in a news release. The girl told authorities Perez introduced her to the CEO and other men, then took a portion of the money clients paid to have sex with the teen. The media is referring to Schenkel's abuse of 2 underage girls as child prostitution, which is inaccurate because a child cannot consent to sex with an adult. The term child prostitute is as horrific as it is incorrect. Even in instances in which a child is paid to have sex with an adult, the fact that they are underage makes them a victim and not a prostitute. Obviously, age of consent laws vary from state to state, but the 2 girls who've accused Schenkel of the abuse were far below the age of consent in California, which is 18. If Schenkel is convicted on all counts, he faces a maximum sentence of 8 years in state prison and 728 days in county jail. Perez faces a maximum sentence of 14 years and 8 months in state prison if she is similarly convicted on all charges. Authorities are urging anyone with information about additional potential victims to call Newport Police at 949-644-3790. This incident highlights the fact that there is an epidemic of child sexual exploitation and abuse in the land of the free. According to many experts, child sexual abuse is likely the most prevalent health problem children face, with the most serious array of consequences. It is so rife that it is estimated that about 1 in 10 children will be sexually abused before their 18th birthday. This year alone, there will be about 400,000 babies born in the US that will become victims of child sexual abuse unless we do something to stop it. Thousands of child predators are nabbed every year, and for every one caught, there are likely 10 others who remain free. Sadly, police appear to be more interested in kidnapping and caging drug users and dealers than keeping children safe. While child sex trafficking is certainly a problem within the upper echelons of society, as Schenkel's case highlights, these sick people are from all walks of life. One of the things the victims are told is to report their abuse to the police. However, as TFTP regularly reports, police are oftentimes the worst offenders, and even when they are caught committing horrifying acts of abuse, they receive little to no time behind bars. This is a serious problem and does not appear to be slowing. Weekly or more TFTP reports on police officers who get arrested by fellow cops on charges of everything from trafficking and child pornography to child rape to running child sex trafficking rings. Some of these officers are low-level cops like Avo Mazwanian, 34, of LaPlace, Louisiana, who was charged last month with 10 counts of distribution and 20 counts of possession of child pornography involving juveniles under the age of 13, with 15 counts of sexual abuse against animals. Dear God. Other child predators fill the top position in their department, like Anthony Tony Yocham, who is the police chief in Hamilton, Texas, a town about 100 miles southwest of Fort Worth. Just down the road from where Yocham is the chief of police, TFTP reported on a cop in Dallas, Senior Constable? I don't know. Daniel Lee Collins, who pled guilty. Sorry, I always read pleaded as, I just know it as pled guilty to uploading sexual photos of underage girls to various Google accounts using the City of Dallas internet network. The list goes on. Sadly, when TFTP attempts to tell the world about these issues, we are banned, deleted, unpublished, or have our social media accounts throttled, which is happening right now. One of our staff members was banned from Facebook and our account given a strike for sharing the article below. Facebook falsely labelled the post as sharing nudity. We cannot appeal and our reach has been diminished by 90% as a result. If you would like to help make sure we stay around in spite of blanket censorship, please consider becoming a member. And this is what Facebook does. Oh, okay. The post scans, oh, nudity, it's not nude. It's, wow. Okay. Maybe because he said that word. No. There's no nudity there. Okay, let's go back. Disgusting piece of rubbish. Excuse for a human being. Okay, and I think we already know this. I bookmarked these a few days ago, and I think you already know about all of this. The new debate moderator claimed his Twitter account was hacked, but the controversial tweet came from his own iPhone. And that's the guy that asked if he should contact Trump. He asked who was it, Scaramucci? And he didn't know what, yeah, he did. Steve Scully tweeted publicly a question to Trump hater Anthony Scaramucci, asking should I respond to Trump. This may have come after a few drinks because he next deleted the tweet. But he didn't just delete the tweet, he deleted his whole, like he didn't know how to delete a tweet, so he deleted his whole account, then it came back up, but without this tweet on it. So, if you can hear something in the background, my cat is just drinking my cup of tea. Now I've got to make a new one. What are you doing? Okay. And A17 and on. Breaking news. Victorians will end the ridiculous lockdown on 19th of October. That's right, next Monday gets set for freedom. 19th of October is at Walk Away Day. 19 October, Victorians free themselves. At Walk Away and delegitimise Daniel Andrews MP. It's the only way out. Fight fines in court. Don't be scared of getting a fine. I haven't received mine. I'm telling you, don't be scared of getting a fine. I don't know how many weeks it's been since I went on the protest, but I've not received a fine yet. I'm still waiting to see what happens. and then I'm taking it to court. From Major Patriot, prominent members of the mainstream media receive direct payments from radical Islamic government sources. And that's not the only place. They receive it from Farmer. They receive money from everywhere. And from Sarah A. Carter, Joe Biden says voters don't deserve to know if he'll pack the SCOTUS. The Supreme Court. He believes that, no, Americans don't deserve to know. I would like to know someone's policies before I vote for them, at the very least. That's why I like Donald Trump, because I know his policies, and I've watched him do it. And I could only hope that that happens here, that we get someone with that much go in them to be able to do that. Okay, and this from CJ Truth. The WHO flip-flops urges world leaders to stop using lockdowns to fight COVID contagion. Regardless of what happens, it's going to be over by the 4th of November. Watch this whole thing just disappear like it never even happened. And they did. They do not advocate lockdowns as a primary means to control the virus. Okay, so Daniel Andrews, what are you doing? Well, I watched a video of him this afternoon that said it's about government control. And they weren't going to let it go yet, because the government's got a bit of control at the moment. But funny, they don't have any control over the gangs of migrants floating around Melbourne and breaking home invasions and everything else going on. And Australians are unarmed, so they can't protect themselves. If someone breaks into your home, you've pretty much got to show them the way and go, yeah, welcome. Go for it. Take whatever you want. I wouldn't, but it would depend. Like if there's, oh God. Don't let your government disarm you. They don't have a right to. Now, if someone were to break into your home and you're in Australia, what would you do? What would you do? If four or six men broke into your home and wanted to terrorise your family and your children, your husband or your wife, maybe your mother and father if they're with you, how would you protect them if you didn't have a gun? I mean, I'd be going through the kitchen to find anything I could, but if I'm only one person on my own, I don't know how well I'd fight off 4 people. But anyway, let's not talk about that. Oh, I just went straight past a few of them. Okay. From Tim Cardella. Those who are truly awake don't feel frustration and hopelessness. We know we're watching a divine comedy that's been allowed to play out. Comedies always have happy endings. And this, from the Cheeky Skunk. My heart goes out to the men and women who've been awake for years, if not decades. I cannot imagine the frustration and hopelessness you must have felt when you were literally watching the world burn with no one to talk to. We're here now and we're awake. Sorry we're late. And that person, they hit the nail on the head. There's some of us that have been awake a long time when nobody else was. And we were screaming it from the rooftops and nobody was listening. Nobody, for years and years. And I know about Agenda 21 and I know what was coming. I know what was coming. And some of you newly awakened people, that is what you'll be focused on, is Agenda 21. It's coming, it's coming. That was what it was designed to do, is wake you up. And for those who have been awake a long time, you will start to see, I don't believe it's so much of a comedy because some of it's quite disturbing. It's like a movie with everything mixed in. Tragedy, comedy, horror, a bit of everything, okay? But I still believe it will have a happy ending. But those of us who've been awake a long time and we know about Agenda 21 and HARP and everything and 5G, we've known about it for years. And then the board came along, and believe me, I've looked right into it, and I have followed it since the beginning, but I was wary for the first 2 years. I'd still listen to it, but I'd be thinking, oh, I don't know. Oh, I don't know. Okay, and this from Major Patriot. It's almost like the media has been rigging every event, every debate, every town hall, and every focus group they've ever hosted and broadcast. I agree with this. That's why I say everything we think we know is wrong. Well, it's not just the only reason. There's education, books, movies, music, everything, but yeah, the media. For your nightly news, I'll put it this way, if there was good news, the news wouldn't sell. So bad news sells, blood sells, blood sells, get it? Horror sells, sex sells, and that is a pretty sad way society has gone if that's what sells. So, okay. And from Rise Up Melbourne, another one bites the dust. Victoria Department of Premier and Cabinet Secretary Chris Eccles resigns. So now we have people left and right resigning in Victoria. 700 doctors calling for an end. The WHO saying open up, and 2 clowns that do daily TV with no answers. So there you go. Another one. I have a funny feeling that he will be kicked out shortly, Daniel Andrews. But as I said, all of this is going to end very shortly. Give it a couple of 3 weeks, maybe. From Dave Hughes. I remember Dave. Non-journalist Peter Credlin got to the truth by asking about phone records at Presser 99 on Friday. An idea a $6 million inquiry hadn't had. Dan Andrews' right-hand man has now resigned after his phone call on the day in question has been exposed. Farcical. Oh, I've got a newfound respect for Dave Hughes now. And again from N1 Nasty One. There's a lot of good posts. Puppet masters hide behind the curtains. The names you know and the people you see are not the puppet masters. These are some of the puppet masters. All roads lead to Rome. There are more than 13 bloodlines. There's at least 14 and probably 15. That was the Roman Empire. This is the United Nations. Legs of Iron, Ancient Rome Senate logo, Vatican Roman Empire, Feet of Iron and Clay. G7 nations and UN, 10 EU unions. That goes in the Bible. That's in the Bible. The City of London is not a part of England. It's a financial power. The Washington DC is not part of America, but a military power. The Vatican City is not part of Italy. It's a spiritual power. All the Egyptian obelisks on all 3 sites, and the one world power system. This. And then you've got Farnese, Borgia, Gaetani, Orsini. I can't see that one. Breakspear. Conti. Samaglia. Chigi? I don't know. Medici, Colonna. I can't. I'm sorry if I'm mispronouncing the names, guys. The double-headed eagle. Portrait of the King Pharamond. Ancient coat of arms. Okay. POTUS said there were names that we didn't know. Follow the symbols and not the bloodlines. I've heard Trump is in the Scottish bloodlines, but hopefully the good side. Yes, you are correct that POTUS connects to these old bloodlines too. And I've heard he's taking it all back and out of their hands. The Pope, the Queen, etc. Hope so. It's an interesting time to be alive. God wins. Okay, guys, so I'm going to leave it there for tonight. All the links will be down below. And I appreciate you all for listening and joining me and being here with me. Thank you very much, guys. Sorry I'm not my usual self tonight. I've still got a little bit of a headache, but it is going away. So hopefully I'll be all right. So, okay, guys, have a good one. Bye.